Hi guys, welcome to my latest project, a portfolio that showcases a very web designing with includes interactivity and all the features which are required for a full stack web development program, and it has advanced animations and more very aesthetic features are there in this. And then as you can see, we have home section, we have skills, and we have projects. And when we scroll on this, when you hover on this let's connect option, you can see the animations that is present over it. And when we scroll down a bit, and here you can see that you're showcasing your name and a bunch of things are disappearing and appearing. These animations will also be taught in this project. And then here you can see an arrow that's written there, but the text doesn't appear so good there. We'll change it later on when we move on with the course. And then we have a skills section, and then we have a projects tab. You can see that projects are shining. These are also the advanced animation which we'll be using in this section. And then we have tab 1, tab 2, and tab 3. And here you can see this interactivity with this power buttons. And then we're gonna move on with this option, which is called as get in touch. Then here you can write your name, you can send your email and your message. When you fill up this form and click the button submit, you can check your website's email that it will be delivered in your Gmail account. And then that's all. Then you can see that this HR tag will be it will be looping over for an infinite amount of time. We'll be learning about these things in this project. As you can see, we'll also include some smooth animations, with each interaction is designed to be fluid and engaging and enhancing the overall user experience. Okay, now let's go with this. And here you can even add your Instagram account or Facebook account or LinkedIn account with these things. And when you click on these things, it can go to your LinkedIn account. Then here we have the logo, and if we click on home section, it will be granted to home, and if we click on skills section, it will come to skills. And here's the project section, and that's the overview of this. And here you can see an astronaut moving up and down. And these are also some significant features which we'll be discussing in this project. And the layout is fully responsive, ensuring it looks great on any device from desktops to smartphones. And it have interactive elements also, power effects, transitions, and other interactive elements, and make the portfolio both fun and functional. Then what's up guys, let's get on with this project. New folder which will be, let's name it as YouTube port. And then in this file we got to create one more file that's named as portfolio, and then we got to open this file in the VS Code editor. If you prefer another editor like the one similar to VS Code editor, you can choose that, but that's not a problem with this thing. Let's open it with the VS Code editor. And then after opening the VS Code editor, let's just go to the run command here, and then just go to terminal, and then just choose the new terminal option here. And then we'll clear this first, and then we got to here. See, you can see this as YouTube port, but we need to redirect it to the portfolio So when we got to portfolio, yeah, now it will redirect to the folder of portfolio in the YouTube port. Then we'll run the command of npx create react app. Npx, make sure it's not npm, it's npx create react app. Now it will load for a few seconds, then we have to wait for this to be encountered with these things, and then it will create the repository files. And oh, we forgot this my React app, sorry. Then create npx create react app portfolio. Then now it will create our React app in this repository accounts. Then we got to just wait for this. It will just initialize the React and React router DOM, then React scripts, and then grab templates. Then after once it's installed, you'll get the message with that we suggest you to begin with the typing of cd portfolio and then npm start. So let's write cd portfolio. Then it will take you to the portfolio or repository. Then you can do, like, first we need to install one more package that's called as npm install react bootstrap. I mean, it will be installed, it will be used for navbar things and those stuff kind of things, and then we'll be importing React Bootstrap icons too. Yeah guys, once if it's installed, you'll get this message of run npm audit for details, like remedies of these are very common things. And then we need to create, like, in the source folder, we need to create, like in the app.css, we have these things. Oh, first we need to, like, npm start. Then it will start the development server in your default browser, whether it's Chrome or there's Firefox or Opera, anything. And then if you are on a MacBook, then it may be Safari or anything like that. And then it will start the development server in a bit. Then once you get the successful message, then you can open your default browser. Then you can see that React is running in our local host port number 3000. Then this is the indication that React is successfully running in your local storage. And then we got to open the React, and then just we'll clear this things up here, just delete these things. Then we got to go to app.js, and then we'll just clear this div section. We got to clear this header section which is mentioned here. Let's just clear this header section, and then here we will be mounting our components here. let's just create a component section here, component, and in this components, what create? No, we needed to create a file, but we needed to create a folder, but we create a file. And then we'll create the components in the source folder, which we'll name it a folder components, and then we'll create our navbar.js, and then in this navbar.js, first we need to import the React Bootstrap icon. First we need to React Bootstrap elements, and first we'll import use effect, and then we got to import use state. These are from React, not from React Auto, just from React. And then we got to import bar, and then container, and then from React Bootstrap. And then we got to export these things, and we got to export const navbar. Then we'll use an arrow function here, then we'll declare some variables here, some constants which will be active link. Which will be assigning this later on with this home, and then we got to move on with the const. And then we'll use use effect here. Which way I can use an arrow function here, which will be like window.scroll wide, window dot is greater than 50, then we'll set scroll to be a true. Else set scroll to be false. Then we'll add one event listener here, that will be window dot add event listener scroll. Then we're going to call on scroll. And then we'll add one return. Window dot remove event listener, which will set it to scroll, and we'll call the on scroll option for the then we got to call this, and then we got to move the hero, and then we'll add a return statement here, that will be right. Return and then we'll add navbar. Guys, make sure that in the navbar it's a lowercase p, not an uppercase p. If it's scrolled, then we got to give it a name of scrolled, or else if it's set to be false, then we'll return an empty array. Then we got to close this tag here. And then we'll add a container here. That will be container. And in this container, we'll add a navbar dot print. Guys, once it's done, then we got to give it to of like home, and then we're going to give it hashtag and then home. Then we'll give it an image tag which will have our class name or like img1, and then source, which will be an empty array, and then a whole of like logo. Guys, I'll be providing the assets folder in the description. Just go on with the portfolio, and then just in the portfolio just go to the src folder and just paste that assets here. As you can see, assets folder is copied here. Here you can see those things. Then once you come here, you can see the assets, that's fonts and images here. Here, as you can see, this image. And this one. Yeah, and many more images are there. Okay, let's import one image now here. Let's import logo from portfolio SRC assets image here we're importing the image from logo.png. And then we are going to insert that image here. Yeah guys, that's then after that we got to like navbar as finished, and then after that we got to add one more thing, that's navbar.toggle toggle, and then we got to close this, and then in that we got to insert a span tag with the class name of navbar toggle. Navbar toggle icon, and for this also we got to use area controls, not counts but controls, area controls, which will be basic. Now in this class name, after this class name we'll give one more, like navbar dot collapse with an ID of like basic navbar and we got to close this with an appropriate tags, and then we got to insert one more navbar with the class name of an AATO, and then we got to have one more nav.link which will have a reference, and the class name of if it's active, if it's active, then we got to direct it to where like home, whereas we got to direct it to stuff, we're going to call a function. With the class name of metallic headshot. This is an underline which will be like metallized or like such kind of property. And we're going to like one more document. Skill. Just we got to paste this here, that's all. If we are in the skills tab, then we promote text. Then we'll define an on-click attribute. And then we'll have a skills tab here. And then we'll have a headshot tab of like with the class name of like metallic headshot numbering. And then we'll add one more numbering. Copy this and paste this. If it's in projects, and then we'll define an on-click attribute of like once if the user clicks on the project section, then on-click, which will be we call the update function. An update of active link, and then we'll go to got to initialize an HR tag of like class name of metallic HR. Metallic HR. Make sure that it's spelled correctly, as like all the HR tags have a class name of metallic HR. And then after that, after this navbar, we're going to open the span tag of class name, which will be navbar text. And then we'll open the of class name social icon, where social icons will be like class name of social icon. And we'll have an A tag, add an A tag of href, which will be, it will go over, but it's not, it doesn't work, but it will take you to the hash path. So we got to keep it empty, and then we got to provide a source. We got to decide it, but we got to keep an alternate type of like this. Then we're gonna copy it like 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to import nav icons. Import nav icon 1 assets #img nav icon 1.svg. See here where it's located. See here nav icon 1.svg. It's located here. So we got to like import that here, and then we got to import like 3 more things. We're going to keep it at 2 and 3, and then this will be 2 and this will be 3. And this we'll remove this one, and then we have to add that nav icon 1, nav icon 2, and nav icon 3. Yeah. And then we are going to add a button. Of class name BD, and then a span tag of class name metallic text. Let's close the span tag. And then we'll give a text of like trying to give a text of let's comment. And we're done with this thing now. Then we're about to move on with the navbar.css. We'll create one more component in the component section. Or we created a navbar, we should replace that to like take it to components, move it. Yeah. And then we got to in the components we'll create one more file called as navbar.css. Navbar.css. Make sure you import this navbar.css and your navbar.js account repository. Then we got to import as both are in the same file. We need more include two dots. Navbar.css. In the navbar.css we got to give styling for that metallic text. Where's metallic text? Yeah, here we have the metallic text. We'll give one background of linear gradient, which will be of 90 degrees, and then the color code will be FFT700, and then this will be TAA520. And then we got to give a WebKit of WebKit background code, and then which will be like text and font weight of bold, and then text shadow. Then text shadow 007, and then the color these are the pre-created colors which we will directly use it. And then we'll come to header tag dot metallic, which will give like border none, height of 2 pixels, then background of linear gradient of 90 degrees. Then we have to give it the same as these two colors. And then margin top would be 5 pixels, and then margin bottom would be 5 pixels. And then animation will be float for 2 seconds and infinite ease and out. And then we got to create the keyframes. Will be 0%. and which will get transform, translate, rate y, which will be 0, and the 50% of transform, which will be translate y of minus, let's give a 5 pixels, and 100% of transform. It will also be a long while, but we'll see. We got to choose now and there we got to display as flex, and then flex direction will be column, and align items should be at the center. And then we got to choose dot really span, really unspan type. And there we got to give it a display of flex. And the transition of like 0.3 seconds, then ease out, dot really whole, and the quick response of like transform them, translate y, and then we'll give it minus of 5 pixels, and then we got to give maze and 1, have a width of like 300 pixels, and height of 150 pixels, and then we got to give border none, and then we're going to give border radius of 50%. And now we'll mount our Nava.js in the app.js component, and for that we got to import now from this thing, and then we got to mount that in here now. We'll check our browser. And then we got to create one more component, which is called as like banner.js. This component, which will be of new file. New file which will be banner.js. And just we got to import use effects or use state from React. And then we got to import container, and then columns, and then rows, and then we have bootstrap, and then we got to import circle from bootstrap. Then we're going to import one from assets import ing 777 dot png. Then we got to export const we got to declare some constants here which will be like loop now. Here we're going to insert the text, which will be like kind of animated kind of things, and then we got to execute that in the banner.js files, and then we'll give it a styling in the app.js. And then we're going to declare one more function. Then we got the period of how many seconds we want that animation to run there. Then we'll use the use effect. AICK, uh, check out, what you call this, set into then our function, vertical statistics. Then we have to that don't, you know, then we have to put to execute. Exit. This deleting to be false. Set loop num, which will be loop number person, and then a set total, which will be like 500 milliseconds, which will imply to 0.5 seconds. And there will return section requires and then ID of home, and then we got to insert a container. In that we got to insert row which requires name of item. And then in this row we got to insert column. Will give a class name of tagline maybe, and then which will say welcome. Insert a span tag. We'll insert a span tag of class name will be then we got to insert the text which we got from that floating thing. To this, we're going to define another column. And then our banner.js file is ready. Then we got to mount this in the app.js component. Make sure you import this banner from the components / banner. Guys, make sure you install the React Bootstrap icons in the run command. That's npm install React Bootstrap icons. Run this in the command prompt, run this in the command terminal, then you'll install this package, otherwise you'll get an error. Then moving on further, we'll create one more component which will be called as skills.js, and then here we got to first import columns, then the container, then the row from React Bootstrap. React Bootstrap, and then we got to import browser from React Bootstrap. No, not this carousel, but the one with React multi carousel. Make sure you install this too in the run command. That's npm install React multi carousel. And then make sure you import that React multi carousel. Then we got to export const going to copy this and paste there, and we got to change the values there, and the value would be maximum of like 3000 there, but we got to change it to 1024, and the minimum of 464. Item would be 2. That's where I will do with the class name of scale box. And then we got to import one image from here. That will be mount that image here. We have to paste it here, but I'll try it does work with this one. Okay, and we'll have to change that first. Let's import this meter2 from the assets folder. So again, copy this there and paste it one more time. Here we got to change this to 3 and make sure we import these changes in the top of the file, and then we have to import it will have okay. Now let's mount the skills.js in the app.js component, and we got to go to here, and then we have to use skills. Make sure it's imported here also. Like sometimes it will not work properly, then you have to make sure that you have imported it correctly with the rendering components. We just suggested here it's components by skills. If it's necessary, then keep .js also, but it's not so important. You can move on with that. And then we're gonna go and create one more component, which will be project.js. And in the project.js, First we're gonna import colon general folder tab from React Bootstrap. Then we're going to export projects, and which will be an arrow function here, which will be project. First we are going to import one image. Let's import img1 from jQuery. We got to copy this and paste it 5 more times so that we'll get 6 images. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 1, 6. We're going to import 5 more images. That will be let's copy this and then paste it 5 more times. And then we gotta get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then 1, 6. It will be 8. And this will be 9. And this will be 7. And this will be 11. And this will be 1, 3, 2. Okay guys, now let's create one more component in this component folder that's called as project card, which we'll be using in this project.js file. That's like new file. That's going to be like project card. And this first we're gonna import columns from the React Bootstrap, and then we got to export const project card. Export const project card. which is equal to parentheses and then title and description and then image URL. Here we're gonna have a return statement which will create one column. In this we're gonna give small or like 6 medium of 4. Then we'll create a div section with a class name of imgbx. And this will create an image tag. Which will have a source of like image URL. And then we'll create alternators title. And after this div, we'll create one more div section with the class name of Raj. Let's give it tx. And this we're gonna create and head for element with the name as like title, and then we'll create a span tag. With this called as description. And yeah, that's all. We're fine with this project card now. Then we are going to import this in our project.js file. For that, we got to import this first in the project.js file. First, we're gonna go to project.js. Then we got to import this thing. Import project card from project.js. Guys, if it shows an error for you, then try using this project card.js file. If it doesn't work for you, then it will be fine. Then after that, we got to mount this component in our project.js in our file. For that, we're going to add a return statement for this. We'll add return. We'll create one section here. Section which will give a class name of project and an ID of project. And in this we got to define a container in this container. In this we got to create a row, and in this we got to create columns, and in the columns we got to add an h2 tag of like projects, and then we got to add a p tag of like oh, I guess it's not working. Let's add everything will be fine. Just believe in God and do good things for others. After that we got to add a tab dot container, and this will give an ID of projects, and then we got to give a default active key to be first. And then we are going to create a null section of variant as builds. And in this we got to create a nav item, nav dot item. In this we are going to create nav dot link with the class name of fi, and then event key as first. And then we got to close this, and we're gonna add a tab 1, and then we are going to create one more nav item. Let's just copy this and just paste it there. Let's copy this and paste it here, like this and like this, like three now. Items we needed, and then we got to like just change it to like second, and then we got to add as a step 2, and then we got to make it a third, and then we got to add a step 3. And then we are going to create, after this nav item, we got to create a tab content here for displaying that projects and that like kind of things, and then tab content, tab dot content, not tab content, tab dot content. Here we got to add tab dot pane, which will have an event key of like first, event key of like first, and then inside this we got to add row. Inside this we got to like import our project card. So for that we got to like see projects dot map. We got to take project and then find it with your index. Then we got to define an arrow function here which will return our project card component, project card, with the key of index. Like, let's just do this and then this is project. And after that we got to okay guys, after this tab pane we got to like move on to one more like tab dot pane, which we're going to give an event key of like second. Oh no, there's event key, but second, and then which we have an id is log epsilon. We're gonna create one more tab, or let's copy it. That's no tab dot pane, which will have an event key of like, we got to give it a third, and which will have lorem epsilon, and then we got to have an image tag here, which will be like img, and then with the class name of like class name of background image right, and then we got to give it the source of like, okay, let's import one image here, like import, what should we color sharp true from assets bar img bar color sharp 2.png. Then we got to mount that component in the source attribute here. We got to give it a color sharp 2. And then we got to give it an alt of like background, alt of background. Okay guys, let's just install that. Yeah, React Bootstrap icons and then React multi-crossfill in a VS Code editor. We got to open this terminal here, new terminal, then we got to add npm install React Bootstrap icons. We got to add npm install React Bootstrap icons. Guys, as you can see, we have successfully installed the React Bootstrap icons. Just go onto the browser, just refresh it, and now I think we can first we have to run this Bootstrap. First we have to run our server. So just clear. Then let's just like npm start. Oh, we got to like command portfolio UI. Then we're gonna start npm start here. Okay guys, in the meanwhile, while server is starting, we got to create a project.css in our components. Let's just create projects .css file where the project.js was located, and let's just import this project.css in our project.js file, then import let's just import okay guys, as you can see, which is React Cursor is already installed in it, so let's run it again. npm first, let's add clear, and then again npm start, just close this, and it will start it will take like 2 or 3 minutes, then it will start automatically. Then we got to create one more component, which has got to be like, let's remove this one. We got to create one more component, which will be like mailwait.css, mailwait.js, and in this we got to do like, first we got to import some things. First we're gonna export const mailwait, and then return, like we'll create one div section with the class name of contact container, with the class name of like contact container. And then in this we'll create a form tag, which will have action we got to fill it at the end, and then we got to give a method of post. Guys, this is for the reason that we got like, if any user interacts with your site, and if he wants to communicate with you, and if he answers any like his name and he'll give his Gmail account, then that will be like redirected to your account, which you'll give the email, and this will be helpful for that. And then we got to give a class name of contact left, and a class name of contact left, and in this we got to create a div section, one more div section, which will be of class name of contact left title, div section of class name contact left title, title, and then in that we got to give a h2 tag of like get in touch, and after this we got to add an HR tag for the underlining purposes, which will slide for infinite amount of time from back and forth. And then we got to give an input tag of like input, or let's add text. Let's make the text to be like hidden, and let's give a name of like yeah guys, after this we got to give it a name of access key, ACCESS access key, and then we'll give it a value of, well, you will get it from the get reforms there. And then we got to copy this and paste it like 3 more times. Like we just need 2 text, so we got to paste it 2 more times. That will be a total of 3 times. Then we got to paste this, and then we are going to have a text area, not text part, but text area, which will give a name of like message kind of thing. Message. We'll give it a placeholder. Your message and a class name of contact input, and let's add it to be required. And here we got to give it type of text, and we got to name it as name, and in the placeholder we're gonna give it as a main flag photo, which will be your name, and we'll give it a class name of like contact inputs. Yeah. Contact inputs, and we'll give it to be required. And then here we're gonna give it as type as email, and then we gotta give it a name of like name email, and then we're gonna give it a placeholder of like placeholder of your email, and then we're gonna give it a class name of contact inputs. Let's just copy this and just paste it right here. Contact inputs. Let's just paste it here, and then we'll delete this value here, which will have copied the required. Yep. And let's also add required here. Yeah. And then we got to create one more thing in this components folder, that's like mailit.css, like mailit.css, and in this we got to add like just first import this mailit.css with a mailit.js for component. As like we got to import mailit.css, and in the mailit.css we'll add some features. First we'll add, in the body we'll add padding of 0, and we'll add a margin of like 0 and a box sizing of border box, and then we'll add a body of like a background image. Then we'll add a URL, and in this URL we got to give it assets bar img bar. We got to take the banner png, and then we got to do the next WhatsApp like contact container. In this contact container, this class name, we have to copy this, and we have to come to the mail.css part and just paste it here, and just like we'll give it the height of like 100 vertical height, and then we got to display it as a flex, and align items, center, and then justify content, space evenly, let's space evenly, and and then we got to give it a width of like 100 vertical width, viewport width, or vertical width, and then dot context styles website. Dot contact. Right, we're gonna copy this thing out here and then just paste it here, and then we got to give it a display of flex, and then flex direction will be column, and then align items. Align items will be at the start, yeah, here we go, start. And then we got to give it a gap of like 20 pixels. And then we got to apply the CSS for contact inputs. So we got to copy the contact inputs here. Where's contact inputs? Yeah, here we go, contact inputs. We just need to copy this. And we just got to come over here and just paste it, like contact inputs. Here we got to give a width of like 90 viewport width, and we got to give it a border radius of 20 pixels, and then a padding of 10 pixels, and then background color of light cyan. And then we got to give the CSS for the button tags, which will be contact container. Then we got to move on to button, and then we got to give it a display of flex. And then we're going to align items at the center. And we got to give it a padding of 15 pixels, 30 pixels. And then we're going to give it a font size of 16 pixels. And then we got to give it a color of white. And then a gap of 10 pixels. And a border none. And border radius to be 50 pixels. And then we got to give it a background color, no, not background color, but background to be a linear gradient, which will be of like 270 degrees. Then we're gonna choose like a color code, like FF double line 4F, and then we're going to add one more color code, which will be B8860B. And then we got to add for the header tags which are available here, which will be contact left title. And in this we got to add dot this header heads to tag. And this we got to add a font size of 2 em, and then a background of a linear gradient, like it's of 90 degrees, and then we have to choose a color code of D4AF 37, and then two more color codes of FFD 700, and then a B8860B. And then we got to add a WebKit background clip of text. And then we got to give a WebKit text fill color was text fill color of transparent. And then we got to give a text shadow 005 pixels, and then a color code of RGB values, which will be 255 and 215, then 0.5, and then we got to give it one more like 0, like 10 pixels, and then we got to give RGBA of like kind of 255, then this will be like 223, and we got to give it a blue. No, we're going to give it a 0, and then here a 0.3. And then we got to give an animation of like shine 2 seconds, and then this will be infinite. And then we got to give the keyframes and the keyframes shine, which will be like 0%. Text shadow will be 005 pixel, and RGBA as like 255, 215, 0, 0.5. And then here we got to give 10 pixels, and we got to give RGBA of like 255, 233, and then 0, and then 0.3. And we got to give it like, I'm gonna copy this and just paste it like 3 more times. Which will just find just like 50%, and then we'll give it a color code of like color code of same, and here we give it 100%. Yeah, and then we'll like come to the contact inputs. We're gonna copy this contact inputs and just copy this and just paste it here. Just like we got to give it a width of like 50 viewport width, and then a padding of 10 pixels, and then a margin of 10 pixels, 0, and a border of none, and a border radius of like, let's give it a 5 pixels, and then background to be linear gradient. It will be 145 degrees, and then 3 color codes of AF37, D4, and then one more color code of like FF00, BF, and then one more color code of B8860B. And then we got to give a font size of like 1 EM, and then we'll give a text shadow of like 005 pixels, and RGBA, this value will be 255, and then 215, then 0 and 0.5, and then 0, 0, 10 pixels, and the RGB value of I'm going to give it 255, 233, 233, and then with 0 and 0.3, and then we got to give it a box shadow of same thing. We got to copy this thing and we'll just paste it here, and then we got to move on to the placeholders, just like that. Dot contact inputs, placeholder, we got to give it a color of white, and then and a text shadow of let's paste it here. Then we got to move on to dot contact inputs. Then we got to move on to focusing, focus, falsy, US focus, and we'll give it a background. Background of linear gradient, say no, not this. Background of linear gradient, 145 degrees, and a color code of FFD700, and mode D4AF37, and one more of B8 60B, and then we got to move on with, and then we're going to add key slides here, keyframe slides, keyframes. Then we got to move to slides, which were at 0%. We got transform, translate X, which will be of 0, and we'll copy this and we'll paste it two more times, and then here we got to make it a 50%, and the transition on X to be 100%, and then this to be 100%, and then this to be say, well, let's say that will be 0, and then let's add the responsiveness of this. Let's give the media of maximum width of 800 pixels. And then here we got to add the dot contact inputs. Here we'll give it a width of 80 viewport width of 80 viewport width VW. Then let's finish this. And then after this, guys, we'll mount the components of these things in the app.js file. Here we have already mounted skills. Then we got to mount the projects, projects, OJECTS projects. Let's see what we had exported there. Okay, we had exported it as projects, so we're going to go in app.js file and just export project. We ought to import this here. Projects. Then we just need to import this here. like import that from components per project .js. Yeah, we had encountered one more other project.css, project.js file. Oh, we had made it a capital P, like project. What were you? No, projects.css. Yeah, now we had encountered this error. Now we got to mount one more component here. After the projects, we have mail it component and mail it. We got to import that mail it component here. Import mail it from components bar mail.js. Yeah. Yeah guys, after adding these things, let's just add the API keys for the mail.js file. We got to provide like the action here, which you're getting the Web3 forms link, and then we have to provide the key here. For that we need to visit this Web3 forms, and then in this we need to open this link, and in this we got to like choose like create your access key, no sign up required. After creating this, you'll get one like you'll get your access key. Let's just add your number @gmail.com. Then just click on create access key, and then it will be success. Then just copy this thing here, just copy it, and then just paste it here, like action thing. And then we'll do the same for the key, which will be the access key. Your access key will be see guys, here you can see your public access key is this. You just need to copy this in your Gmail account. It will be delivered to your Gmail account once you submit your email and the kind of things that are required for the Web3 forms. Then they'll send you an email with the access key. Then you just need to copy this access key, and just you need to come for the Visual Studio Code editor and just paste it in the value place, and then it will be registered here, and while you run this program it will be going on good. Then we can move on with the app.css file. Here we got to import things. We got to import fonts, then we got to import background images and lot more stuff like that. First we'll import the fonts. First we got to import the, as we can see here in the assets folder, we have the font, and we have 3 fonts. First we need to import these things: font face, font family, font family, which will give it a Centra, 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 and then we'll give it a source of URL, which will be assets. Where's assets? Yeah, in this source bar assets bar font. Then we got to select bold TTF, yeah. After that we need to assign a font weight of font weight of 700. Then we got to copy it one more time and just paste it. Then just change it to let it be Centra, then but we'll change it to Centra number 2 book TTF, no, medium TTF here. Then we'll give it a 500 and then let's give it a 500. Then we got to copy it one more time and just paste it, and then we got to give it we'll give it like book TTF like that. Then we got to move on with the body size with the whole font. We got to give it a margin of 0, and then we got to give it a padding of 0, and then box sizing of border box, and then we got to give it for the HTML. We got to provide it with the scroll behavior smooth, and then we got to give a scroll padding of 75 pixels, scroll padding top, $75, and then we got to move on with the body structure, which will be font weight of 400, and then overflow X, which needs to be hidden, and then position, which will be relative, and then we got to give it a background color of 121212, and then we got to give it a color of triple F, and then we got to give it a font family of Centra, which we had declared earlier. Then we got to give it a sans serif, and then we'll move on with the header tags H1, H2, H3, and H4, and H5, and H6. We'll give it a margin of 0 and a padding of 0 and a line height of normal, and then we got to give it for a tag or for hovering. Let's give it text decoration of none, and then we got to give it for then we'll move on with the IMG tag. Then we got to give it IMG, which will give a width of 100%. That's 100%. Width of 100%, and then a height of auto. And then we got to give it for the button tag, which will be border, which will be 0. And then we got to give it a background color of transparent. outline to be none, then we got to give them responsiveness for this thing so that it will get adjusted to the small screens and the big screens. Like we'll give it a minimum width of minimum width of 1700 pixels, and then we got to give it main.container which will give it a max width of 100%, and then we got to give it a padding of 0150 pixels, and then we got to move on with p.success, color, which will give it a green, and then we got to give it p.danger, we got to give it a color of red. And then we got to move on to the navbar, nav.navbar. Then we got to give it a padding of 18 pixels and 0, and then a position of fixed, and then we'll give it a width of 100%, and then we'll give it a top of 0, and then z index. Z index, which will be 999+9, and then we'll give it a transition of 0.32, and ease in and out. And then navbar dot scroll, and we'll give it a padding of 0 pixels and 0, and then we'll give it a background color of 1212121212, yeah. Guys, there's much more CSS property. I'd like you to copy this from my assets folder, which I'll be giving in the description. Then there are a bunch of 600 to 700 codes for this navbar.cs, now for this app.css. So I'll be pasting it and be explaining it right here, but I just need you to copy those app.css from my assets folder, which I'll be giving in the description. See, in the assets folder, I've pasted that app.css here. You can just copy these things. You can just copy, as you can see, some 600 to 700 codes are there in this. See, we can't just type it all there here. So I'll just give it in the description below. See, 650 to 1 codes are there. So it will be a lot of time, requires a lot of time to write all these codes. So that's why I just copy these things in the description and just select all these, copy this, and then just go to the app.css file, just paste it all here. See, background position, everything is copied. Just try to explain here, we were in yeah. After this, see, navbar scroll, we were given the color code, and then for the navbar links, we are making it we are giving it a white color, and which is important. And then we're gonna give it for the navbar links the opacity of 1, and the display effects align item center. Then for the social icons, then we're going to move on with these things. Like for the transformation, for the animations, we're gonna using ease in and out. And then we got to move on with this, like this. And this is for the background image. Like this is from the paid kind of thing. Like as you can see, this image, this will be transformed in the background of the project. I had still more images, like yeah, this is also like great, but this wasn't working well, so that's why I deleted this, but this was looking good. Yeah, maybe fine. Now we'll move on with this. Guys, as you can see, our new portfolio is ready now. Like it's saying welcome to my portfolio, and then see here, like if we hover on this let's connect button, then it's also working, and then these logos are also like animation kind of things are also working. Like see that, yeah, it's fine. Then yeah, this is also fine. Then if we move on with these features, then tab 1, tab 2, see there we have given lorem ipsum, then it's also coming like this big. And you can see these HR tags like animating like up and back, like this, like up and down things. And then if we, for example, if we write your name as like something and your email as like something at the rate gmail.com, and your message will be like some things. Then if we click on submit, then for instance you can even go to your Gmail account and just like see, you'll get the notification of this. Then you can go back and then just check your Gmail account. Then see here, it will be generated here that hello, new form has been submitted, name of the person is this, and that's all. You can see the animations like sliding over and shining like a golden text, and you can see this HR tag which is moving back and forth, and you can see this Van Hussein kind of thing. And then yeah, that's all. Well guys, thank you for watching this portfolio tutorial of this stack, and then well, keep supporting me, and make sure you hit the subscribe button down there. Well, thank you. To move on with the toggle bar and then the rest of